Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedbuilding video. So in today's video I am back building in Windenburg, and it's been a really long time since I built in Windenburg. I actually looked on my Instagram, and the last post I did of a build in Windenburg was 25th of August 2019. I think that's right. I looked about an hour ago, but yeah, it's been a while since I've built anything in Windenburg, and I actually do really like building in Windenburg, but I feel like it's a bit overwhelming because there's so many lots. Like, there is an insane amount of lots in the world. I'm not complaining though, because I love having all the different areas of this world, because there's like the modernized area, then there's the little island area, and I just really love this world. But obviously I don't tend to build here that much, because the last build I did, like I said, was August of 2019, and that build was actually a spellcaster's cottage, spellcaster's cottage, which was going to be before Realm of Magic came out. I just wanted to kind of see what I could build before the pack came out. So yeah, I'm back building in Windenburg. It's been a hot minute, but I'm back. So today I'm building a really large family house. This is kind of like a modern Tudor family house, and it was actually, funnily enough, inspired by a house that is literally just up the road to my house, because I literally drive past it all the time, and it's such a beautiful house, and the front of the house just inspired me to build something like it. And so that's where the inspiration for this build came from. But I did actually build this a long time ago. I actually built this in April. I think it said 25th and the 26th on my video recording. So it's been a while, but if you would have watched my last two videos, you would have known that even though I did have a 6-month break from making videos, I was still making builds, but I wasn't uploading any videos or anything like that. I was just kind of like, it was crickets. But I was building, and this is one of the houses that I did build. So this doesn't have any eco lifestyle. I almost said eco living. It's eco lifestyle. Still confuses me why they went with lifestyle and not living to kind of keep with the rest of the packs, but anyway, so this hasn't got any eco lifestyle. This also doesn't have any nifty knitting. I'm trying to think what other packs we've got since then. I know it's got tiny living in it. I know that's for a fact. It has none of the new Star Wars pack, which is actually something that I want to talk about, because the Star Wars pack came out the other day, and I want to know everyone's opinions on it, because I haven't actually bought the pack. It's not my cup of tea, and I haven't bought the pack myself, and I kind of want to know what everyone thinks about it, whether it's actually worth buying it. I think if I was to buy it, I'd probably buy it in the sale. I feel like I would only probably buy it in the sale. I could say that, and I could end up buying it, but right now I'm kind of just thinking if it goes on sale, I'll buy it, because I am a bit of a collector of the Sims franchise. I've got every single pack since the Sims launch in 2000, so I kind of want to have the complete collection. But I don't know, something with the pack just doesn't sit right with me personally. And if you would have watched my last video, you know that I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I don't dislike Star Wars, it's just not my cup of tea. I've watched a few of the films. I couldn't tell you anything about the actual characters or anything. When the blog post actually came out for the Star Wars, I actually had to get my boyfriend to translate what it actually meant, because it was just basically gibberish to me, because I didn't know any of the characters, what the first force or the I don't know. This is how bad I am. Honestly, couldn't tell you anything about it. And so I haven't actually got that pack. So there is none of this pack in this build. If you don't have that pack or eco lifestyle, then don't worry, you can still download this download this build. As always, all of the details for the build, so like all of the packs that I used and what lot it's on, like the size of the lot and how much it is, and all that kind of stuff will be in the description box down below as always. But yeah, I just wanted to know what everyone thought on the Star Wars pack, because I haven't bought it, and I don't think I'll be buying it for a long time, until at least it goes on sale, which I don't really see it happening for a while. But maybe there might be like a Halloween type of sale. I feel like a Halloween sale happens, but maybe I'm just thinking incorrectly. But anyway, besides the point, getting in actually speaking about the build a little bit. So this is built in Windenburg, as I mentioned, and it was actually built on a lot which a pre-made family, and there was already like a pre-made house or like a built house already here. I bulldozed it, I moved the family out. Now, previously the Munch family lived here, and that consisted of, I'm probably going to get the names wrong, so forgive me, but Mila Munch, Gunther Munch, Wolfgang Munch, and Lucas Munch, I think. I mean, I say I think, I'm reading off a website that says their names, but I probably didn't pronounce them right, so please forgive me. I'm not great with pronunciations of just English in general. But they do previously live here, and I don't think I'm actually going to include them in my save file, just because I don't really tend to ever play with them. The only one character, or the only one sim that I ever play from that household is probably Wolfgang, and that's just because he's in the club. Oh, I can't remember it, but it's like the kind of bad club, like where they like pull pranks and all that kind of stuff. That's the only time I ever really interact with him, and apart from that, I don't really have any other interaction in my personal gameplay with any of the other sims. And I don't know, I didn't really like their house. By the way, this lot is such a difficult lot to build on because the shadows on this lot are so annoying, and the colours of the wallpaper and everything just looks a little bit off, and I knew that I had to build on this lot eventually, and I was kind of putting it off just because of that point. But I don't think it looks as bad as previous houses that I've built here. I remember I was actually building a farm here a really long time ago. It was called Rosewood Farm, and I started building it here, and then I actually moved lots, and when I moved lots to a lot in Brinston Bay, the colour palette was completely different to the one that it looked like in this world. So if you're ever going to build on this lot, or if you have built on this lot, then you'll know then the shadows and just the way that the sun reflects on the house and like shines on the house is really weird. And yeah, anyway, but getting back to the family, yeah, I think I'm actually going to move them out of my save file. Maybe I might move them into separate places. Maybe I'll keep Wolfgang, and maybe, I don't know, because I don't really play with them a lot, and I want my save file to be filled with new townies, and I will still keep the originals. I'm not getting rid of Bella Goth anytime soon, but I don't know, to me personally, I think I'm actually going to get rid of them for my save file. I mean, they're definitely not going to live here, that's for certain, because this house was definitely not built for them. So this house actually has, I believe, 5 bedrooms. Am I getting that right? So there is a parent's bedroom, a teenager's bedroom, a child's bedroom, and then 2 toddlers' bedrooms. Yeah, so there's 5 bedrooms. It can actually house 6 sims, and then there is also room for 2 pets in here. So there is 2 pet bowls. You could either have 2 cats or 2 dogs, or a cat and a dog, or whatever kind of pets you want. But technically this could be a 8 sim, or an 8 sim if you include cats and dogs as sims, but 8 sim household if not just 6. So there is definitely a lot of room, and way too much room for them. So if I do keep them in my save file, they won't be living here. So like I mentioned, this house does actually have 5 bedrooms. There is also, I believe, 3 bedrooms. Now I must say, I did actually build this house in April, so can't really remember, and I did actually cut out the bathrooms because I don't really like making really long videos, because I feel like they can get really boring after a while. And if I do make a really long video, I try and keep everything that is necessary in. Now, when I was actually editing this video, it was either I cut out the floor plan of the house, or I cut out the bathroom furnishings of the house. And me personally, if I'm watching someone build, I would much prefer to see the way that they do the floor plan than the way that they decorate a bathroom. And so because of that, I actually scrapped out the bathroom footage. I didn't even look at it because the footage was already way too long. This was actually like 7 hours of raw footage of me building this house. It took me a really long time. I remember I did it over a couple of days, so there was a lot of footage, and so I decided to cut out the bathrooms and keep in the floor plan. But I don't actually remember how many bathrooms there was in this house. Now, I believe there is at least 3 bathrooms, not bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I might be wrong, there might be a 4th one somewhere, but I'm pretty sure there is only 3 bathrooms. So there is a big one downstairs, which could be seen as the main bathroom because it is the biggest one. And then there is also another 2 bathrooms upstairs, but they're just not as big as the other ones. Thinking back on it, yeah, there is actually at least 3 bathrooms. There might be a 4th, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there is 3 bathrooms in this house. But anyway, I'm moving on. I've now started actually furnishing at the back garden of this house. Now, I spent so long on this garden, it was a joke. I probably had about 3.5, maybe 4 hours worth of footage of just the garden, of just like the exterior of the building of the house, the landscaping and the decorating. It took me a really long time, but sometimes when I build, I do build quite slowly if I'm watching something. So I watch a lot of Netflix when I build. That's where I get on all of my, where I watch like all my TV shows and films and stuff that I want to watch. I normally do it when I'm building. But yeah, this took me a really long time. As you can see, there is this kind of like little garden section within the garden. So it's like a gardening area. So over here, you would have seen I did actually use some debug fences, which are from the World Live Edit menu. I can't think of the proper name, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Which actually brings me to another thing. I really need to get the new mod, which just came out. I can't remember the creator's name, but I'll have their Patreon linked in the description box down below. But recently they came out with an expandable build and buy catalogue, which obviously I didn't use in this build because I built it in April, so that this build was built way before the mod came out. But I have been using it in some of my most recent builds, which I haven't actually shared yet. I haven't shared yet. Thinking about it, so I have actually been using it in my latest builds, and they recently came out with an updated version of the mod or a new mod. I can't remember because I haven't actually downloaded it myself yet, but it's basically the live edit menu and like the debug menu organized. Now that is just music to my ears because the debug menu just takes forever to go through. Now if you would have watched me actually when I was doing the landscaping and stuff, you would have seen that I spent ages searching for like plants and stuff, and they've organized it into categories. So the rocks are under the rock category, and everything's got a name as well now, which is so much useful. And that you can also duplicate something, which is the biggest pain when you're building with debug and you want to duplicate something, but you've already lost your space in the menu. And then, so half the time whenever I build with debug, I normally just put like 10 of the same items out on the grass or wherever, just so if I want another one, I've got access to it. But there's this new mod that come out, and I'm just really, really excited to get it because I know that I'm going to want to build with live edit objects more. Because that is one thing that makes me not want to build with it, is the fact that the menu is so big and so messy and just not in order whatsoever. So yeah, I can't remember why I started even talking about that, but anyway, moving on. As you can see, this back garden does also have a swimming pool. There is actually a lot of different areas to this back garden, although it's like all one big space. There's like different sections. So you have the little kind of gardening section that you just saw over there with some planters and the flower arranging table and just like bits and bobs. Then you have the little swimming pool area over here, which I'm actually gonna make like this little fountain area right now. I don't know if I do it right now or in a minute. No, I do it right now. And I basically add some hedges to create a kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but like a structural fountain using the little fish fountain. And I use these hedges and I move objects them up so they're kind of like at the ideal height, the same height as the fence. And then I put this little fish fountain in, and then I also add some of these little, what they called, sprinklers, I can't even, fountains, something, you know what I'm talking about, you can see it on the screen. But I just really liked that, and I haven't actually done that in any of my builds before, and so I don't know, maybe I'll do that in the future. But yeah, so we have this little pool area, and then we also do have a little like sandbox toddler area. As this house does have 2 toddler bedrooms, I'm assuming 2 toddlers are going to live in this house somewhere. Like if you're going to download this house off the gallery, you'll probably want some toddlers to live in here because there is 2 toddler bedrooms. And so I did create this little kind of like sandbox area. It's also got the kids monkey bars in it, and then some kids slides that we got with the Toddler Stuff pack. It's also actually got the sand terrain, which means Sims can actually just like build sandcastles and stuff, which is also such a good gameplay feature in itself because you don't even need an object, it's just on the floor, which is great, and you can do it anywhere. So yeah, I mean, I was actually creating sandboxes before we got this update with the sand, but now we've actually got the update with Island Living. I say the update like it happened last week. This was about a year ago, but since we've had the update, it's so much more useful to actually properly put in a sandbox rather than a fake looking sandbox, which toddlers or children or whoever can't actually make sandcastles with. Anyway, so yeah, we've got this little kind of like playground area over here. I did also add in some swings, which I put at the front of the build because I felt like if I would have tried to figure them, like just try and stick them in the sandbox area, it would be way too cluttered and it would just, yeah, so I put them in the front, and I feel like they look cute in the front as well. And then there is also a little barbecue area with a pool. No, with a pool, there's a barbecue area with a bar. I don't know why I said pool. Barbecue area with a bar, then there's like a seating area. There is so many planters in this house. It is, if your sim likes gardening, they'll love this house because there is so many different planters. There is obviously the planter section in the garden area, and then there is also some around this side of the lot, and then there is also some on the little patio area where the barbecue station is, and then there is also some on the upstairs balcony. So there's a lot of different planters. I also use all the planters that are from the outdoor retreat, which your sims can actually, I think they can build them. I'm pretty sure they can build them, but they're not in the normal build and buy menu. And then there is also this little area outside the utility room, which we'll move on to after we've finished with the kitchen, but it's got this like little bin area, and it's also got a washing line, and it's actually really useful because I have actually played in this house. So back when I built it in April, I built it, and as soon as I built it, I didn't edit it, I just went straight in, created a family and started playing in this house. And I found it so useful because my sim didn't have to walk ages to go and hang her washing out on the washing line. She literally just had to walk outside the door and the washing line was there. I don't know, I just really like that little area. It's probably like my favourite area of the build on the outside, just because it's so cute and it's got this little path, and yeah, I really, really like this area. But anyway, now moving on, I've started furnishing the inside this house. Like always, the wallpaper and flooring I did off camera, takes me way too long, and I do actually change the wallpapering of one bedroom when we get later on into the build. I changed it of the child's bedroom because I just didn't like the one that I originally picked when I was going in and doing the wallpaper and flooring. But anyway, in the kitchen I did use some base game counters, and then a base game, I believe it's base game anyway, base game fridge, and then the Parenthood oven and like, or stove or whatever. This kitchen is so big. As you can see, there's a really big island in the middle. I didn't really know what else to put in the middle apart from an island, because this house does also have a separate dining table, and so it felt a little bit weird having like a dining table in the middle of the house, or in the middle of the kitchen, as well as a dining table through the archway. And so I just did a really, really big island, but I really like it. It's such a big family house, and I feel like if you like family gameplay, this is a really good house for it. Like I said, I have actually played in this house myself with some of my personal sims in my personal gameplay, but I haven't fully tested out the whole entire house. So I definitely, before I will upload this lot to the gallery, I definitely will go in and just play test it, make sure everything works, because I know how annoying that can be when you download a house with the gallery and nothing works. So I will make sure to play test it and play test everything before I upload this to the gallery. But as you can see, I am just going around and finishing the kitchen off now. I do just add some picture frames onto the wall, and then I'm also going to go and add some pet bowls. Like I said, you could either have 2 cats, 2 dogs, a cat and a dog, or if you wanted to, you could delete them and get rid of them. It's up to you. Honestly, you can do whatever you want when you download this house, or if you want to download this house. But moving on, I've now started furnishing the utility rooms. This is the room that I was talking about that's just like by the washing line, which your sims can hang their washing out on. It's literally right next to it, and it's so useful, and it's such a big and bright room, especially for a utility room, because typically if I do a utility room, they're quite small. And in this, it's actually funny because my next build, the utility room, is actually in the kitchen, but I'll release that when I release that. But anyway, talking about this utility room, there is actually 2 washers and 2 dryers. I kind of saw that, seeing as there's going to be a big family living in this house, sometimes when your sims have washing in the washing machine and then you try and put another load in and then they can't because it's already clean, it's just a whole kerfuffle, and I didn't want that. And so I actually thought there's space for 2 washers and 2 dryers, so I put 2 washers and 2 dryers in. There is also a lot of kind of dead space in this room, but I didn't want to clutter it up because it would have made the room so much smaller. But there is also a little sink over in the corner, as well as a little ironing board, as well as a broom, but obviously your sims can't actually use that. It's just kind of more for the decorational purposes. But now moving on, I've actually started furnishing the lounge room. I love this lounge room. I was so happy with it. This was actually the second attempt that I did of this lounge room. Originally, it was completely different. It had like cats and dogs sofas. I just wasn't feeling it, so I scrapped it and went in and did this lounge room. And I feel like this just makes this house like a modern Tudor, because it's so modern, but then it's also very classic, because you've got the brick on the wall, which is actually the same brick that's on the outside of the house, and then it's just kind of paired with this modern furniture, and I really, really like it. I use I think that's the fashion pack bookcase and then the Parenthood fireplace, and then I also used the fashion pack sofas and kind of merged them together to create a corner sofa. I really hope one day that we can actually get corner sofas in the game, because it will just kind of give so many different opportunities to make so many different cool sofas. But for the minute, I merged 3 sofas and 1 armchair to create the corner sofa that I did. Obviously, if you wanted a smaller corner sofa, you could have just easily added 2 long sofas and then 1 armchair, but I really wanted it to extend out like that little section of the room, and so that's why I added 3 big sofas instead of 2, but you could easily just add 2. But now I'm moving on, I'm just doing this little desk area in this house. So surprisingly, this house doesn't have an office. I feel like I always have offices or like a little workstation in all of my houses, but this one just didn't have, like, the way that the floor plan worked out, it just didn't have it. Probably could have made one of the toddlers' bedrooms into an office, but I just really liked the thought of 2 toddlers living in this house, and so I don't know, I feel like this does the job though. It's just a cute little office area in the corner of the lounge room. I was kind of thinking that for my save file, one of the parents who will live in this house might be like a lawyer or something. When I was actually playing like my own Sims in this house, one of the parents was actually a lawyer, so that's probably where I got that idea from. But yeah, I just really like this little area. It's got room for some photo frames so your Sims can add family photos in, and yeah. But now I'm going in and just finishing the rest of this room. So I actually really wanted there to be a piano in this house, but then there was no way to add it, so it was like accessible. And so what I actually did was actually delete one of the arches. So in the lounge room there was actually 3 arches in total, 1 coming from the hallway, 1 going from the hallway to the kitchen, and then I can't remember where the third one was, but there was 3 arches, and I decided to get rid of one of the arches and then put the piano in the corner. It fitted perfectly, and now your Sims can learn the piano skill if they really want to, or if you don't want them to, you can delete it and do something else with that space. But I felt like because of the way that the room was just kind of floor planned, it would make sense to have some kind of instrument or something in that corner. But now moving on, I've started furnishing the porch area. So this house actually has a porch, which I don't normally tend to do in my houses, but I kind of felt like it would be nice for your Sims if they have maybe dinner parties or they invite their friends over or whatever. They'd come into the house, they'd take the shoes off, they'd take their hat and coat and scarf and whatever off, and then they'd leave it in the porch, and then you actually have the cats and dogs, like the kind of patio doors which lead into the rest of the house. I don't know why, but whenever I look at this room, I feel like it would be cold. I don't know why, but I feel like the porches are quite regularly cold, and so that's probably why I thought that. But anyway, as you can see, I just did some, I don't know, like move objects thing with the, I can't think what they're called, shoe racks. Now, like I said, I booked this back in April. When I came in and actually started editing it today, I completely forgot that I did that, and I actually really like that idea. I don't know if I maybe saw that in someone else's video around about the time that I was building this, and I tried to implement it into one of my builds. I can't really remember, but I really like that idea, and I feel like I'll probably be using that a lot in the future because I use them shoe racks quite a lot. Like I said, I can't remember if someone else did it before me, so I'm really sorry if there is someone that did it before me and I just can't remember, but yeah. Anyway, moving on, I've now started furnishing the dining room. So the dining room is just a pretty standard dining room. It's got a really big table. Like I said, I imagine this family has like dinner parties and loads of guests come round. It will probably make sense as well because there's like a large patio area outside for the barbecue and there's a pool and stuff. So maybe they have a lot of parties, and I really wanted a lot of space inside for the whole family plus like guests to sit down and eat dinner together. But now I'm moving on upstairs, and I started furnishing one of the bedrooms. So this is the toddler bedroom. There are 2 toddler bedrooms like I mentioned, and this one I personally imagine to be for a little girl. Obviously you could have a little boy in here or whatever, but I just personally imagine that this room to be for a little girl. I imagine that the toddlers are probably twins, probably a boy and a girl, and then they both wanted their own rooms, or they got given their own rooms because at that age they probably can't decide or like have any say in the decision. But yeah, so this is the little girl who's a toddler's bedroom, and I just went in and just decorated it with some toys, some bookcases. There's not too much in this room like activity wise, just because there is a sandbox downstairs and there is also just like other bits that they can do around the house. And it was quite a small bedroom. Both the toddler bedrooms are in this kind of weird floor plan, which is because of the way that the windows are at the front of the house, but I feel like it was perfect for a toddler bedroom. You could probably make this into an office if you really wanted to, or You could probably still have a single bed in this room. I feel like a double bed would be doable, but probably would be a bit of a squeeze, and you wouldn't be able to have side tables either side. So maybe when the toddlers grow up, you could definitely have a single bed in this room. But when I was decorating it, I just felt like 2 toddlers just would fit perfectly. But now you can see I have moved on and I've started furnishing the other toddler bedroom. It's in here, it's very blue. I wanted it to be just very blue, maybe like underwater themed. You can kind of see that I went with the Parenthood wallpaper that kind of looks like waves. And I just really like it. I'm going in and basically putting similar objects to the other toddler's bedroom in this bedroom as well, because there's just not that many activities for toddlers to do really. But now I'm moving on and I've started furnishing the teenager's bedroom. So the teenager's bedroom is actually the biggest room I think in the house. But I didn't want this to be the main bedroom just because of the way that it was shaped. I don't know, I felt like this would be such a good room for a teenager. And so that's decided what I did, and that's what I went with. So this is the teenager's bedroom. I went for like a blue and an orange theme, which I have never gone for, I don't think, but I like it. I feel like at the end, once I've put all the decorations and the furniture in and all that, it does tie together. I wasn't sure about the bed at first, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not a massive fan of that swatch of that bed, and I don't think I've used that before, but I kind of liked it in the end. I do actually change the rest of the furniture to be a black furniture, just because I felt like it was more teenagery, and so you'll see me do that in a minute. But right now I'm just adding some posters, some decorations. There is also a little TV area in this house, or in this bedroom as well, and at the minute it currently doesn't have a sofa or anything, and I didn't think when I was building this that Sims for some reason can't actually sit on their bed and play games, or sit on their bed and watch TV. And so I will actually go in and add a sofa or something so your Sims can actually sit down and actually watch TV or play video games or something, because I don't know why that's not a thing in the game. I don't know why Sims can't lay on the bed, and I don't know, that's a whole different topic. But anyway, as you can see, I'm just going around and finishing up this room, adding a few rugs. I also did add a little desk area in this room as well, so your Sim can play some computer games and whatnot, and just adding some posters, trying to make it feel a little bit more like a teenager. Don't worry, there is a bookcase actually on top of the computer. I don't know if you would have noticed, but I was placing it when I was trying to move objects and things up. I do delete it, don't worry, that won't be in the build that I upload to the gallery. But now I'm moving on and I'm actually furnishing the child's bedroom. So this is actually the wallpaper in the house I decided to change. I don't really like it. At first I was like, oh, this is cute. But then as I started getting into it and actually properly furnishing it, I do decide to change it just for a plain wallpaper. I feel like the rest of the house doesn't have any fancy or like traditional wallpaper with a pattern or anything. So why should I now do it into this one bedroom? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus I feel like with this wallpaper, when you add loads of different posters and wall decorations, it's a bit too much, and so I do end up changing it. But for now, as you can see, I decided to go with the Seasons bed, and then I'm just cluttering up this little Parenthood chest of drawers with some, just clutter, money boxes, lunch boxes, and just loads of different stuff. And then I am also going to go in and add a little desk area into this bedroom. I used a tiny living desk, which I think is so perfect for children's bedrooms, or maybe teenagers' bedrooms, or like younger teenager bedrooms. I just really like this desk, and I feel like it's such a perfect, like, my first desk area, if that makes any sense. Watch that be the next stuff pack. Anyway, besides the point, now I'm adding in a drawing table. I know it seems a bit weird to have a drawing table right next to the desk, because the drawing table size compared to the desk it looks like a toddler kind of activity, but it's not. It's a child activity. I've never actually realised how small that actually is compared to the desk, but I felt like it didn't look too weird, and I really wanted it in this room. I didn't know where else to put it, so I just decided to put it next to it. Also, if I would have put it somewhere else in the room, then it kind of would have stuck out at a weird angle, and yeah, whatever. There is also actually the My First Pet stuff. I think it's a hamster cage in this bedroom as well, so your Sim can definitely have like an extra pet in the household, but it won't be counted because hamsters and rabbits, they can't get rabbits in the game, hamsters and rats, and I don't even remember the other two, they don't actually count towards a household's like size. But anyway, moving on, I'm now furnishing the last bedroom in this house, which is the parents' bedroom. This bedroom does actually have a balcony which looks out onto the back garden, which you will actually see me furnish in a minute. But for now, I'm just going in, adding like the standard furniture, a bed, a little chest of drawers. I do actually also add a dressing up table or like a makeup table kind of thing. I can't remember the proper name for it, but I do also add one of them into the corner. This bedroom was such a weird shape, it was quite difficult to try and figure out what I could put where, and so I felt like this little makeup table was kind of perfect in this little corner. And then I do also kind of think about adding a bookcase, but I don't add it in the end. But yeah, so anyway guys, that is the end of this voiceover. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this family modern Tudor style home. As always, you can download this build via the gallery. My origin ID is JessicapieYT, or you can search for the hashtag JessicapieYT or just the hashtag Jessicapie. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys.